Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be going over a stupendously powerful setup that synergizes extremely well with Twinblade. Now, before we get started, this video is entirely inspired by Crowned PvP's video on the same build, but his is a little bit more optimal because whereas I'm wearing fashion armor, he's using armor that you would actually use to fight in a tournament, nice heavy armor with good poise. And so that video will be in the description and in the comments. Go check that one out before you watch this one. His gameplay is fantastic. But essentially the idea is that Halberd with an offhand dagger is already one of the strongest, at the very least dueling, setups in the game because you have this beautiful running R1, right? You have a lot of other good moves with the Halberd. The R1 is going to be a moderate speed R1. However, what's unique about it is that the hit stun into dagger R1, or dagger L1, excuse me, is going to be a true combo. Now, the true combo is not actually the strongest thing about this setup. It is the 50-50s and the extreme amount of pressure that you put your opponent under with this setup. Having to make the decision, are you going to R1 twice with the halberd, or are you going to use a dagger swipe and then roll out, or are you going to spam the dagger swipe? These are all things that if your opponent guesses wrong, they're going to take a lot of damage and they're not going to have a fun time. But the thing is that if you, whether it be phantom hit or you actually hit them, a dagger swipe is going to do somewhere around 40 or 41 poise damage. And I personally can't remember it off the top of my head. Hopefully somebody will post that in the comments if I don't beat them to it. But essentially, if you get just the dagger swipe, their poise damage is going to be damaged for around 30 seconds. In that amount of time, you can swap to a twin blade, and it's going to make it where, against most opponents, the first hit of any of these first hit moves where you have two hits is going to be the one that is poise breaking. And if Twin Blade is able to poise break with the first of any of these two hits, it becomes way more terrifying. So you have an already extremely powerful setup, and then it makes the Twin Blade so much better under a very common circumstance. And the thing is that the running R2 is going to have level 2 stun, so if you are close enough to your opponent and you hit at least with the second hit, they'll be in level 2 stun, in which case you can go for a flaming strike as a roll catch. Oftentimes people will input a roll trying to get out of the first hit, but when it poise breaks, it will cue a roll for once they are finally out of hit stun, in which case Flaming Strike is oftentimes just going to be free damage, and it is absurdly powerful. However, we're running two halberds and two twin blades together, so we're also going to have one that has Spinning Slash. Now, the reason that I imagine he wasn't running Spinning Slash in his video is I imagine that it's probably banned on Tournament Ladder, so this is going to be, since we're invading, we're going to use this as well. Now, this is, like I said, more so thought of as a dueling setup, so we're going to do a couple things to make it a little bit better in invasions. So we have a chase down weapon to quickly swap to try and get, say, like a last hit off on, or to be able to use Stormblade for some quick damage at range. We're going to have Stormhawk Axe as our premier get off me tool. We will have Carry and Retaliation as a very quick parry option. We're also going to have a couple anti-BS options if need be, in the form of two thrusting swords and power stance spears. Now, hopefully I don't have a reason to pull these out, but they're here just in case. And then we have a plethora of powerful ranged options. We have our golem great bows, we have our lion great bows, which you would use more so for Radahn's Reign, and you would use the golem arrows, the golem bow, excuse me, for some very high damage golem arrow shots on a strength build, which is what we're running, as you can see on the stats. And then the jar cannons there, if we somehow, some way manage to run out of golem arrows as ammunition, these are going to have both the lightning and the standard explosive bolts, which will be extremely good if we're able to get on, say, a railing or something that'll cancel our our reload animation. And yeah, just some basic stuff here. We have Endear on the Starfist, and also if I feel like the situation calls for it, what I can do is have offhand Starfist. So this is going to be a frame 1301, and it does poise break, and so this is a very nice attack. So whereas this is essentially, this is completely unreactable. If I'm not mistaken, this is frame 10. This is going to be better if I feel like I need to be able to poise break. But with that being said, I'd say that this weapon setup and menu setup is going to be quite darn powerful. People are probably going to be mad at me that I'm using this, and if they kill me, probably point down and stuff like that, but hey, I think it's going to be a fun time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the invasions. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more sleep-deprived Jaeger. It is in the morning, and this is what I do for you motherfuckers, so hit the dislike button. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, yeah, when it comes to this this setup, when you are in Haldag mode, you can definitely feel the power difference between when you fight one person versus multiple. When you are, at least in my experience, when you're using this, essentially you can feel everybody waiting for you to just miss one running R1. Everybody was then trying to get in once you were focusing on one person. So, and I mean, it's not surprising for a weapon that is a thrusting weapon that actually does have poor tracking, or like not that good of tracking, then it's not surprising that that people are kind of just waiting to hit you in your blind spot, which is why if you're going to use something like this for invasions, then you definitely need a horizontal weapon and a get off me tool. And so when we swap to the twin blade, while I'm trying to go with the concept of the build, it is going to be a little bit stronger for invasions, especially if your opponent has a low poise. And we go ahead and wrap up the host right there, and our teammate was able to distract the epic Moog gamer. So we run into something a little bit interesting. I'm always prepared for the worst when I see the fingerprint shield. Not only is it able to be a pretty cringe bleed and madness weapon, but I've personally seen like save editors that have spinning slash on it. I don't know how, but when I see the fingerprint shield and it's all that someone is holding, I get kind of worried. Get that beautiful little roll catch right there. That flaming strike coming out of the spinning slash works so well. And so I chunked him right there with the dagger, and as you can see, the first hit was the one that broke his poise, which is just so damn nice. Now, while the majority of what we're doing in today's video is invasions, this was just something that was kind of cool that I hit when I was warming up. So we're fighting Shunter, right? And so essentially I am missing all over the place, but we're going to do something kind of cool. Yeah? Dink! And I didn't have Misery Chord set up in this menu layout, so I just swapped to a Stormhawk axe. But that was kind of a cool clip, kind of a schnasty parry, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, here we are at Stilovsky's hometown, and would you look at that Phantom? Look at that. That is not meta level PvP, but it's okay. It's okay. The host decided to put his controller on the ground and let us do that to him. So we didn't even have to fight the overleveled. Isn't it beautiful how it happens sometimes when you can just use gravity to kill someone in a single shot, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know sniping's a good job, mate. But anyway, now here we are in Castle Sol. I personally hate this area. Not only do you always get... Okay, for the person that wrote Law of Regression, fuck you. Anyway, yeah, when it comes to this area, not only are you always getting spawned behind the party, because you are behind the fucking castle, But also, in my opinion, this is just not a very good area when it comes to fighting the host and phantoms, because nobody's sticking around to fight these enemies. Like, who is fighting anything other than the birds in this area? The answer's no one. Now, this guy's a little bit of a problem here for us. Got a fat overleveled mage, which is super cool. I love overleveled mages. And he's spamming Endure, which is about as fun as it gets, and we are having a latency issue. So we're going to do what we do best. We're going to use the Stormhawk, and unfortunately they both roll out, which makes me very sad. But yeah, Endure spamming, carry and retaliation, overleveled mage. Believe it or not, a little bit difficult to deal with. And I know if I get hit by that Great Club, that chicken wang, that we're gonna be in a world of hurt. So this is gonna be drawn out a little bit more than I care to admit. However, doing a little bit of good damage right there. Hit him again with that. You can tell that we have a latency issue with him, because even on my screen that wasn't hitting, and we were still hitting him as he ran to our side. But yeah, we're just doing our thing right here, right? Obviously, when I focus on one, the other one wants to try and give us issues. But I'm going to rely on the overpowered slugs in this one room. Why are there slugs in here, dude? What the fuck is this? Yeah, that happened. And now we're good as dead. Spamming Endear with Zamor Ice Storm. Like, this guy actually just used my own tactics against me. Yo, GG's, guys. GG's. That was a good one, man. So, here we are at the first step. I got a question for you guys. Why do people play at the first step? This area is so dog shit. Actually, you know what? I know the reason. That is the entire reason. Despite the fact that when it comes to hosting, like, every single legacy dungeon is better, people intentionally go here because there are no enemies for you to rely on. Sorry, dude, I'm yawning because I've only gotten like 4.5 hours of sleep because I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer girl. So yeah, we have two people trying to fist us. Not like that. But this is what we do. This is what we do. We almost die in a single combo, and we go for our tried and true, because this is literally how you play Elden Ring. See, the thing is that every single dexterity and strength build is actually a Stormhawk Axe build until proven otherwise. See, everything else is the cherry on top. The Stormhawk Axe is just the entire cake. You're going to be relying on it a little bit of a lot of the time, and yeah. So we have a guy that is wanting to duel at the whatever this is called, Mr. Braggart Man's house. But since we're only fighting one person, this is going to really shine. Get that entire beautiful combo right there due to the damage that the dagger did to his poise damage. And so catch him trying to come in right there. And dude, the Cincadea does so much damage. I'm sorry if I just butchered that name. Ignore that. Hopefully I said it right. Yeah, for a dagger it does a lot of damage, dude. And I was thinking about trying to sort of like translate this build into either a frostbite or a bleed build, but the reason I didn't is because I wanted Flaming Strike to hit as hard as possible, because Flaming Strike is a really interesting Ashifor in my opinion, even though like it is as common as it is in tournaments that don't have it banned. I don't think tournaments really ever have it banned. I don't know. I don't keep up with the tournaments and whatnot. I just think that the way it works is pretty cool. Like, if you get the early hit, the best thing you can do is either go for the L2 again, or you can go for like an R1 or a dagger L1, something like that. But it will actually like true combo if you get the late hit. Like, I think that's more interesting than the majority of Ashes of War in the game. So Yeah, this is a fun fight right here. His character's name is Sleep With Me, and this is a snooze fest of a fight. Uh, what I love is when someone really, really wants to win. How did that not? How did that not parry this dog shit game? Yeah. Anyway, I love when people don't want to lose, and so they just spend the entire time playing at this specific distance away from you. Uh, Obviously, everybody can play exactly how they want to. I'm just being a bitching Billy, okay? He can play like this if he wants to, but it's okay because we're gonna do something that I want to do, which is dink dink dink. Yes, sir. As simple as that, baby. Simple as that, baby. Twin blade overpowered. That's right. So, anyway, we're going to get some unsmited Lendel, which is absolutely awesome. I love when you can invade normal Lendale. It is so BG that you are not even able to invade other people that have standard Lendale when yours has been turned to ash. Like, are you serious, dude? Really, dude? Like, come on, bruh. But anyway, this one is more than the others. Like, even though it is a 3-man, these guys are very clearly PvEers. So we're going to first get ourselves out of here, going ahead and get that robustness up, and then once I've bleed ballast, we will be able to prevent ourselves from getting blood quite as easily. Get a nice little backstab right there. I am the world's dog shittest character. Bro, what am I smoking? I am the dog shittest player when it comes to getting backstabs. I always manage to fuck it up. That is not an acceptable amount of HP. This is at meta level 125, and that's 1000 HP. That's not okay, dude. Like, having 5 vigor is not enough. I don't understand how people make this decision. Like, it's not like the game does bad damage. Like, you literally get to the mountaintops, and then it's like you wish that the soft cap for vigor was fucking 99. Like, things start hitting so hard. So why do people just stop at 3? Why do people stop, excuse me, at 3 vigor? Why does everybody run the amount of vigor that the swordsman starting class and Dark Souls 2 have? Like, dude, can people pull their head out of their ass, dude? Like, it's not funny anymore, dude. Like, George R.R. Martin really did spread the misinformation that you only needed 3 vigor, and he's just like, yeah, I don't fucking know, man, just don't get hit. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're, like, stupid, and you just, like, destroyed the game. And somehow these meta-level players that have 3 vigor are also fat rolling. Do you have 5 brick hammers in your fucking back pocket? Anyway, let me stop ranting for 2 seconds and start another rant. Who summons to kill Grey, y'all? Just use a bleed dagger. It's simple as. Thankfully, that wasn't an unendurable frenzy, or else I might have been cooked. Because as you can know, unendurable frenzy when you are in range is essentially a one-shot. I mean, there's really no other way about it. And so, yep, there we go, going for the running R1. Now, the running R1's not as good as the running R2 in most situations, but it does have quite a bit more forward momentum, which is nice for that. But it is time for the most hard-fought victory of the morning. So we are stuck in this lower part of the Annex Tunnel, and while we are able to pack up one Phantom very quickly, these next 2 are going to put up one hell of a fight. So putting the Black Flame incantation on a Twin Blade is kind of nasty. The game eats my roll input right there, so I get hit by that twice. Very honest gaming. I'm having so much fun, dude. Thank you so much. I love Elden Ring. But try to go for something right there. I thought that they were going to be super thirsty and just immediately run around the bend right there, but they do not. Going for our little running attacks and stuff like that. That dagger hit actually did break his poise, so it doesn't really do anything in terms of setting up the Twin Blade first hit or anything like that. But if we were to get the same thing on the host, it would probably poise break. I meant poise damage him without poise breaking. Something that I forgot a little bit too much while I was doing this session is that I had Endure in the back pocket. So, I don't know. I just wasn't thinking about it. Yeah, and so essentially, I decided to pull this out because I have Stormblade on it, and I feel like I would be able to get a good use out of it. But instead, I'm going to finally go for the Spinning Slash Twinblade, feeling this a little bit more. I wanted to mostly focus on what he was using. Look at this monkey business. Look at this monkey business for investors only. What the fuck was that? How do you decide to press L2 over and over? I had the HP advantage. So anyway, we are now with the miner here, and I mean cave mining miner, not the other miner. And I mean, I don't know, unless I do something really dumb. This is a closed book. So we're going to see that he has a parry tool. So what do you do when you have a parry tool against someone who wants to parry? Use something they can't parry. Yo, GG's, dude. Check out Crown PvP.